Okay, Bhargavi, can you read? I think Prati is unable to do that. Bhargavi, can you read?
Ma'am, may I?
Who's that?
Ma'am, Tejaswini.
Okay, Jasmine, go ahead. Thank you, better.
Okay, ma'am. A
Yeah.
photograph. The cardboard shows me how it was when the two girl cousins went paddling, each one holding one of my mother's hand, and she, the big girl, some 12 years or so, all three stood still to smile through their hair at uncle with the camera, a sweet face. My mother's there was before I was born. That was before I was born. And the sea, which appears to have changed less, washed the terribly transient feet. Some 20, 30 years later, she'd laugh at the snapshot. See, Betty and Dolly, she'd say. And look how they, how they dressed us for the beach, the sea holiday. Was her past. Mine is her laughter, both wry, with the labored ease of loss. Now she's been dead nearly as many years as that girl lived, and of this circumstance there's nothing to say at all. It's silence, silences.
All right. Oh, oh, oh. Wait, come on. If you look at the poetry, it begins from the cardboard shows me how it was. Now, if you look at the first stanza, just we've been doing this exercise of drawing pictures. Just try and draw this image. The cardboard shows me how it was when the two girl cousins went paddling, each one holding one of my mother's hand, and she, the big girl, some 12 years or so. All three stood still to smile through their hair at the uncle with the camera. A sweet face, my mother's, that was before I was born. Can you do that? Shall I repeat the lines for you? I'll just repeat the lines for you and you just try and draw, okay? Let's see how you understand it. Just draw, listen to it and then draw, okay? The cardboard shows me how it was when the two girl cousins went paddling. When the two girl cousins went paddling, each one holding one of my mother's hands. And she, the big girl, some 12 years or so. All three stood still to smile through their hair at the uncle with the camera. A sweet face, my mother's. That was before I was born. Drawn? Done that? If you've drawn, just raise your hand. Okay, Harshit has done that. Harshit, can you share the screen? Can you show it to us? Share your notebook with us, what you've drawn. Anybody else who's drawn? Bhargavi?
I can't show you. My laptop doesn't have the webcam.
Okay, can you share the screenshot on the group?
Mom, my parents aren't home and the phone is with them. I'll share you as soon as they get back. Maybe if after the class, I'll share you as soon as they get back. I'm sorry.
Okay. Deepika, can you do that?
Yes, ma'am, but it's not completed.
That's okay. That's okay. Just show it to us.
Wait, ma'am. Only one.
That's okay. That's okay. Whatever you've drawn. Not visible. Prachi, have you done? Deepika, not visible yet. Prachi, are you through? Okay. Two girl cousins, okay. Alright. And uncle with the camera. Uncle with the camera. You've missed the uncle. Okay, anyhow. Prachi, can you show it to us? Good one. Good try, Deepika. Good try. You've captured.
Ma'am, mine is not good, ma'am. It's very poor.
It's okay. I'm not looking for the drawing and the style, or probably I'm not rating it. I'm just looking at the fact that whether you're able to capture the words, capture the picture from the words. Can you do that? Can you draw a picture with the
Ma'am,
words?
just 1 minute.
Press.
Ma'am, just 1 minute.
Yeah, yeah. Is there anybody else who's just drawn and who's completed?
Ma'am, it's about to complete. I'll
Harshit, are you through?
No, ma'am.
All right. I think you're taking a lot of time. Let's just look at the text quickly. We'll see to it in the after some time. The first stanza says, "The cardboard shows me how it was when the two girl cousins went paddling, each one holding one of my mother's hands, and she the big girl." So this is the picture, the cardboard. So another word that is used for the photograph is cardboard here, and the cardboard shows represents the picture, and the picture is like this. Then the first stanza, the picture has been explained to you. The cardboard shows me that there are two girls, and both the girls are holding the hand of one girl who is the biggest, or you can say who is the eldest of them all, and she herself is 12 or 13, or probably she's in her adolescence. Okay. Correct. Yes or no? Got it or not, children?
Ma'am, can you repeat?
What, mom?
I said the first 5 lines are about the photograph. What is the photograph like? Okay. The cardboard shows me how it was when the two girl cousins went paddling, each one holding one of my mother's hands. Which means cardboard is another word for the photograph which is being used here. And the photograph contains, what does it contain? It contains, it shows three girls. Okay. One of them who's holding the hands of both of them, and she's standing in the middle. She's somewhere around 12 years old, and all three of them are standing, are posing for a photograph which is being clicked by the uncle. That's what the picture is. Okay, got it?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Yes, this is what you have some questions, something to.
Ma'am,
Yes. Yeah.
ma'am, I
Okay.
haven't made the uncle, but I have made the three ladies or whosoever they are. Ma'am, I've
Uh,
made them.
okay, but then I think uncle is not holding the hand. Uncle is taking the picture, darling.
I haven't made him.
That's okay.
I figure out
All right.
where to place
All
him.
right. Okay. All right. Good one. So if you look like this, you'll find that yes, there are three girls standing. The eldest in the middle, and they're posing for the photograph being clicked by the uncle. Now, look at this line. Stood still to smile through their hair, which means their hair are occupying or covering their faces. In other sense, why do you think their hair are over their faces? What can be the reason?
Because
They
of
are
the
near
Ma'am,
the
sea.
the
sea.
sea wave.
One by one.
Ma'am,
It's written
ma'am,
that
because they
and the
are
sea
near.
which has trees are near the sea and winds are there.
Okay, so they're near the sea and it's windy. Very nice. All right. Look at the word paddling. What can be the word paddling? What does it refer to? What does the word paddling refer to?
Ma'am, cycling or riding a bike.
Yes, it is cycling or riding a bike, but in the first stanza, you do not find any of such references. Okay? Paddling actually means
I'm
watch.
walking through
Yes.
sand.
Yeah, walking in shallow water. Paddling refers to walking in shallow water. Okay, so you can write it down. Look at the last four lines. A sweet face, my mother's, that was before I was born. So, who is the onlooker, the beholder of the photograph?
The uncle.
There is a girl, and of course, this girl is the daughter of the eldest girl in the picture. A sweet face, my mother's, that was before I was born. Okay, she, the big girl. Look at the word she, the big girl. The biggest girl or the eldest girl in the picture is the mother of the speaker. Okay, clear by this time? Yes or no? Just say a
Yes, ma'am.
yes. Okay, look at the last line. It says that was before I was born. Before you come to the second last line, it says that was before I was born. So the picture refers to the time long before the poet took birth. Of course, since it's the mother's adolescent, so the the picture belongs to the mother's adolescent, and probably she's cherished that picture. She's kept that picture safe with her. Okay. Now, why has she kept this picture safe with her? Write down the question. Why has the poet kept this picture safe with her? We'll find the answer in the next two stanzas. Okay. Last two lines. And the sea. So there's a sea at the background. So where are they clicking picture? They're clicking picture at the seashore, at the beach side. Okay. And the poet says, and the sea, which appears to have changed less. Please mark the line. And the sea, which appears to have changed less. Now, if you look at the previous line, a sweet face, my mother's. Okay, a sweet face, my mother's. Sorry. That was before I was born. Can you see the time? Can you tell me?
Yes, that he wants to say that her mother was young. She wants to say that her mother was young before she was born or
Exactly.
something.
She wants to say her mother was very young. This picture belongs to her adolescent, and this was when she was very, very young. Okay. But there is, when you look at this line, it also resounds that at this moment probably the mother has grown old. When you say she was very young then, you want to say the line intends, or the line implements, or the line intends or resounds the fact that she's old now. She was young then, which means she's old now. Okay. And if you look at the line, says the next line, the sea which appears to have changed less. So sorry, the bar is not working, probably because of the sweat in the hands. The sea which appears to have changed less. So what has changed over the time?
Their ages,
Their ages.
the age of the mother and her daughter.
Yes.
Yes, exactly. The age of the mother and the daughter is increasing, or you can say they are aging, as compared to the sea which hasn't changed much. Or you say that the sea which doesn't get old. So sea and mother, which means nature and humans, are standing in contrast in the last three lines. You can write that down. The contrast presented by the poet in the last three lines is about nature against human beings, whereas nature remains intact, nature is immortal, human beings are mortal and aging. Got it?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, one more thing.
The poet is say, um,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, go ahead, go ahead.
ma'am, the poet is comparing her mother with the environment or the nature
Not environment, but sea,
in
nature.
this line.
Yeah, she's comparing humans with nature. She's talking about, see,
Okay.
remember, every text, every literary text is about a personal experience and a universal experience. Okay. And you will find every poetry, every text, moving on from general, from personal to general. So she's come up from the first five lines where she's talking about her personal experience, and then she's moving on to a universal experience which is felt, which is undergone by every person who looks at any photograph. Okay, anything that you recall. Okay, clear everybody? By
Yes,
this time
ma'am.
just say a yes. All right, coming to the last two lines
Yes,
again.
ma'am.
If you look at the lines, it says, and the sea, look at the word, and the sea, the same sea which appears to have changed less, washed their terribly transient feet. Look at the word washed. Can you give me another word for washed?
Ma'am, wept away.
Swept away. Okay. What else? Google. See, don't wait. I'm not stopping you from Googling. It's rather an exploration that you're looking for the words. It will help you build up your vocabulary. Google, quickly. Google and come back and tell me. Washed. What can be the other word for washed?
Cleansed.
Didn't get you what?
Ma'am, sweep or convey.
Swept away.
Man, maybe carried away.
Carried away. Okay.
And
Carried
Can
cleansed.
away, sweep.
can we say erased? Can we say erased?
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Wipe.
Wiped out. Very
Ma'am,
nice.
convey.
Convey would be carrying. And I am looking for the word that says washed, which means removing it from existence. So you can say washed as removing. you know Look.
Ma'am, rubbed off.
I'm driving away.
Yeah, driving away, cleaned,
Ma'am,
okay,
Eradicating.
scorched, scrubbed. Yes, eradicating. Very nice, very nice. Vanish. Very nice, very nice, very nice. Wiping, vanishing. Okay, all these things will come. I hope you can see the screen. Yes.
No, ma'am.
Can you see?
No,
Can't see the
ma'am.
screen? Oh, let me just
Ma'am, you're
share the
not
screen then.
sharing the screen.
I'll do that. I'll do that.
Yes.
Have a look. Clean, scrub, wipe. Okay. Flush. Even you can do that. Okay. And then remove, vanish, swept away, wiped away. All these words will come. All right. Quickly coming to the word again, the line again. The sea which appears to have changeless, washed there. Who are there? Who are there in the picture?
And the three
From
girls.
the girl cousins.
The girl cousins. Girl cousins. But, if you go in general, it talks about humans. Okay. So there, if I say who are these there, or who all are referred to the word there, through the word there, you will say the three girl cousins and probably the uncle even. Okay. And here you say, look at the expression again. Terribly transient feat. Look at the word terrible, transient. What do you mean with the word transient?
Something not remaining for a longer time, for a longer
Exactly.
period.
Something which is short-lived. Okay. Something which is impermanent. Something which is mortal. Okay. Let me give you the words. Quickly, let's just Google and find the word transient.
Lasting only for short time.
Very nice. Transitory, temporary, short-lived, short-term, ephemeral. Look at the word ephemeral. Ephemeral refers to something which is very bodily, which has flesh and which can die. Perish. Okay, you got another word, perish. Which is brief, momentary, another word, momentary. Fleeting. Look at the word fleeting. Okay. Evanescent. Look at the word evanescent. All these words, unstable. Okay. Fading. Look at the word fading. All these words are there. And opposite are permanent, perpetual, constant, perennial. Even the word is there, perennial. And you say permanent. You have even the word opposite lying as immortal. All these words apply to. I hope you've taken on the words, everybody. Now, if you say terribly transient feet,
yes,
so whose feet are we talking about?
Three girl cousins.
Girl cousins. Now,
ma'am,
if you
three
look,
girl cousins.
is it just the feet which are impermanent, and very short-lived, or is it the entire human body?
It's the entire human body.
Ma'am, the entire
Exactly.
human body.
Very nice. And is it just the entire human body, or we are talking about human existence in total?
Ma'am, it can be human existence in total.
Ma'am, so,
It is, yeah, it
Ma'am,
is,
it's both.
can
it
be.
is, yeah, it is both. It is both. We're talking about that when they stood on the sand, okay, with the passage of time, their feet were erased by the waves which came by. Also, it refers to metaphorically the human existence which is being evaded, washed away by time. So sea is not just standing in contrast with human existence, and sea is not just a representative or a synonymous for is a synonym for nature. Sea also stands for time. That with passage of time, or you can say time is erasing, or time is wiping out the human existence as on it goes further. Understood? And if you want to understand the meaning, that what mood or what attitude or what expression does the poet have for this, look at the word terrible. Terrible. Okay, terribly transient feat. So here the poet is highlighting the tragedy of human life. Okay, again we'll Google the word terrible and we'll see the word terribly as well. Okay, we'll see how this word has added to the meaning. It says terrible, something which is horrible, horrifying, okay,
Creepy.
dreadful, awful, creepy. Yeah, you can say creepy. You know, something which gives you something which is very much, you know, spooky to you. If you find it very, you know, you are very afraid, you're fearful of that. It says terrible, but the word that is being used is terribly. So it says extremely, awfully. Look at the word awfully, dreadfully. Okay, okay, awfully, dreadfully, extremely. So here he's trying to say that as compared to time, human beings are extremely, extremely short-lived. Human beings are extremely ephemeral. They have a very short-lived existence as compared to time. Or you can say the poet wants to highlight that with the passage of time, their existence is vanished, is wiped out by the ravages of time. Understood?
Yes, ma'am.
And they only become a memory. They only remain a memory.
Ma'am,
All right. Yes.
ma'am, exactly the terribly transient period, what exactly means, like if we go by words.
It will be that human beings are extremely mortal. They are extremely perishable as compared to nature. That's the human tragedy, that you have a very, very short life. They wither away as quickly as they come. Okay? They're extremely, it says they're extremely transient. Look at the word transient. They have extremely short life. Okay? Now, I have something for you. And then you tell me whether it is used or not. First of all, oh, why don't you work, darling? Come on. Can you see the screen, everybody?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, wait. I think
Yes,
the voice
ma'am.
is not there with you. The voice is not working, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. The voice is not
Wait, wait,
audible.
wait, 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 wait. I'll just do that. I'll just do that. Stop stream share. Yeah. Again, and then include system audio. I think it will play now.
Yes,
Today
ma'am.
we're going to start a poetry
Okay.
lesson, and this will be some major terms that you're going to need to know as we start poetry. These are some poetic devices. So to start, the poetic devices we're going to cover are imagery, simile, metaphor, alliteration, assonance, consonance, personification, onomatopoeia, hyperbole, idioms, and rhyme. Imagery. Imagery is language that appeals to the senses. They're your five senses of sight, hearing, touch, taste, and smell. It's a description of people or objects stated in terms of our senses. Simile. I believe we all know what a simile is. It's a figure.
I hope you're noting down every poetic device that I'm discussing in the video. Note them down, and you have to find them in the first stanza. Okay? Yes or no?
Okay, ma'am.
All right.
Figure
Okay,
of speech
ma'am.
which involves a direct comparison between
Okay,
two
ma'am.
unlike things.
Okay, better.
Usually is combined with the words like or as. So an example, the muscles on his brawny arms are strong as iron bands. A metaphor is very similar to a simile. It is a figure of speech which involves an implied comparison between two relatively unlike things using a form of to be. So it compares things without using like or as. An example would be the road was a ribbon wrapping through the desert. Alliteration. Alliteration is repeating consonant sounds that occur at the beginning of words or within the words. An example would be, she was wide-eyed and wondering while she waited for Walter to waken. Assonance is the refrain of a vowel sound. Alliteration was a consonant sound. Assonance is a vowel sound that creates internal rhyming within the phrases. So there's two examples here. On a proud round cloud and in a white high night. Consonants. Consonance is characterized by the repetition of the same consonant two or more times in short succession. Examples are pitter patter, or all mammals named Sam are clammy. Personification. Personification is a figure of speech which gives the quality of a person to an animal, object, or an idea. An example would be the wind yells while blowing. Onomatopoeia, the use of words that mimic sounds. So the firecracker made a loud kaboom. Kaboom would be the onomatopoeia. Or words like slam, bang, buzz, that kind of thing. Hyperbole. Hyperbole is an exaggeration of a statement used to heighten effect. It is not.
All right. Coming back. How many have we discussed now today? Can you name them? The first one was?
Imagery.
Similarly.
Yeah.
Imagery.
Very nice. Imagery. Second one was?
Simile.
Simile.
Really.
Simile. And the next one was?
Metaphor.
Metaphor.
I hope you can note down this. You can check the spellings even at the chat box. Please make sure that you write the spelling of simile right, because even in board examination, children write the spelling wrong. Okay, so make sure that you write the simile right. It's not smiley, it's simile. All right. The next was?
Alliteration.
Metaphor.
The metaphor
Alliteration.
was? Yeah, alliteration. Very nice.
Alliteration.
Yeah, very nice. And next was?
Assonance.
Metaphor.
Assonance.
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 And yeah, assonance. And then next was?
Consonance.
Consonance.
Consonance. And next was?
Personification.
Onomatopoeia.
Ma'am, personification.
Personification. And next was?
Onomatopoeia.
Onomatopoeia.
Ma'am, assonance.
Okay. Now, can people define for me what is imagery?
I'm depicting the images basically.
Yeah, depicting the images. Now, one thing that he said was very important. Please pay attention once more. I'll just play again for you. Can you see the screen? Just a second. Just pay attention. What does he say? Okay. Playing again for you.
Not used to. Today we're going to start our poetry lesson, and this will be some major terms that you're going to need to know as we start poetry. These are some poetic devices. So to start, the poetic devices we're going to cover are imagery, simile, metaphor, alliteration, consonance, personification, onomatopoeia, hyperbole, idioms, and rhyme. Imagery. Imagery is language that appeals to the senses. There are your five senses of sight, hearing, touch, taste, and smell. It's a description of people or objects stated in terms of our senses.
Okay. What did he say? He said.
ये यहाँ पोछा मार दिया बाल किसने गिरा रखे इधर
Harshit, can you mute yourself, please?
वैसे यहाँ फिर से मार दिया मैं वही देख रही हूँ ना बाल पड़े हुए
Yes. And please don't do that. Don't speak into my ears straight away. Keep your mics mute unless you ask to. Okay. Can you tell me what is in imagery?
Ma'am, talks about the senses.
Mm-hmm. It talked about
Set up and,
the explanation. Go ahead, go ahead, go ahead. Imagery is,
and things that appears to our senses.
yeah, anything that appeals. Yeah, it appeals to our senses. Very nice. Did I write that? Oh, our senses. You can write it down. And what does it talk about in terms of senses?
Ma'am, like
Sense.
we can feel and all.
Yeah. It says see, sense, see, touch and smell. All these things are going to come. In terms of our five senses, how we feel. Now, can you just apply it to the first stanza and find out is there any imagery there?
Sweet face.
Ma'am, the last sentence, washed the terribly transient feet.
Okay, who washed?
See.
Ma'am,
See. But this is the action. See, washed, terribly transient. This is the action we're talking about, right?
ma'am, yes.
And the third line, each one holding one of my mother's hands.
Oh no, that's the picture. That's a picture description. I think who spoke first was that washed their terribly transient feet.
Ma'am, me to just finish.
The destiny, if not just the washed part, but look at the line before that. It says, "Sea which appears to have changed less, wash their terribly transient feet." Can you look at the
Okay,
contrast?
ma'am.
Okay,
Ma'am, I
so
thought
sea,
we have to tell it specifically.
yeah, but then there's another device used there. Okay, so the sea which appears to have changed, that's the imagery. That over the years the sea remains
Okay, ma'am.
intact. That's the image. Okay, that you remember it was there in the photograph. It is when the mother would have would have been young, and she would have been married. Even then the sea was same, and even when the poet is talking about looking at the mother, talking about the picture in the second stanza, even then it remains same. And even when the poet is looking at the picture, even then it is same. So that's the image. See, which appears to have changed. Look at the word appears to have changeless. That's the image. Okay.
Okay,
Yes,
ma'am.
ma'am.
All right. Next, we had talked about, I think, the simile. Do we find
Simile.
any simile? Yeah. Do we have any simile in the first stanza? Any simile in the first stanza? Don't be afraid. Be confident. Come on. Do we have used any word as and like? Because with simile, you have to use the direct comparison. As and like, is it used anywhere?
No,
Is
ma'am.
it used?
No,
Yeah. So
ma'am.
there's no
No,
No,
ma'am.
simile.
ma'am.
There's no simile. Good one. There's no simile. Look at the next one. It says metaphor. Okay. I'll just play for you once more so that you can get clear what a metaphor is.
Ma'am, can the fifth line be a metaphor?
Just check. Screen is visible?
No, ma'am.
No, ma'am.
No, ma'am.
No. Visible now?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
So an example, muscles on his brawny arms are strong as iron bands. A metaphor is very similar to a simile. It is a figure of speech which involves an implied comparison between two relatively unlike things using a form of to be. So it compares things without using like or as. An example would be the road was a ribbon, rapping through the desert.
Okay. He says, which appears to be, and he says, the road was appearing to be a wrapping desert. What was that? Can somebody repeat that? Just forgot what was the. He said, yeah.
As an example would be the road was a ribbon
Yeah.
wrapping through the desert.
Okay, the road was a ribbon wrapping through the desert. That's the line he said. Now, can you say, can you tell me any metaphor, any particular thing that is being used as a symbol in the first stanza?
No, ma'am.
Just think. It's there.
Ma'am, see.
Yeah, and it's a metaphor for. Just
For the
explain.
age of
Some
mother.
time. Passage of
Yeah,
time.
exactly. C
Yes,
is
ma'am.
passage of time. So C is a metaphor here, because if you read the line, the sea which appears to have changed less, okay, and it is, it is compared to the mother's face, and it says it's the time that is washing away. If you look at that universal point of view, it says their feet, their existence has been washed away by time. Okay, that time is the most, powerful of all, or you can say nature is the most powerful of. So see, nature, time, all these things are going to, which appears to have changed less over time. So see is so much as perennial that it becomes as if a symbol of time in here. With passage of time, the existence has been washed away. Okay, got it? So C is the metaphor here.
Okay, ma'am.
Any doubt till this point?
No, ma'am.
All right, one more. I think the screen is working and it is being shared.
No, ma'am.
Yeah, one more thing. Playing again.
Excuse me, ma'am.
Yes, dear.
Audio is
Alliteration.
not.
Audio is not there?
Ma'am.
Yes.
No, ma'am. It's audible.
Oh, it's audible. Okay.
Ma'am, actually,
Alliteration
I
is
need to
repeating
meeting right
consonant
now.
sound.
An urgent call is coming from my mother. Can I leave the
Okay.
meeting?
Okay. Who's that child?
Deepika, ma'am.
Okay, beta. Leave.
Thank you, ma'am.
There is no audio.
Okay.
Ma'am,
She
it's
was.
not audible.
It's not audible. Okay. Just a second. Though I did that. Just tell me when it is audible or not. Okay. Audible?
No, ma'am.
No, ma'am.
Alliteration.
No,
Alliteration
ma'am.
is repeating
No, ma'am.
consonant
It's
Oh, I
here.
did
Ma'am,
that.
now it's audible.
Now it's audible. Okay.
sounds that occur at the beginning of words or within the words.
Okay. I'll just repeat for you. Alliteration is basically repeated consonants at the beginning or within the words. Okay, at the beginning or within the words. Look for the repetition from your poetry. Also, he gives an example. He says,
An example would be she was wide-eyed and wondering while she waited for Walter
so she was wide-eyed and wondering why she waited for Walter. So all W, V sounds are there. All right,
to waken.
to waken. All right. So can you look for all these repetitions in the poetry within quickly?
Ma'am stood still
Ma'am,
to
first
smile.
is there terribly transient.
Okay, and before that even we have few.
Ma'am stood
Stood
to
still.
smile.
Yeah, stood still to
To
smile.
smile.
Yes. Even if you look at this, all three stood still to smile, SS, and three threw their hair. The entire line has alliteration. Can you see the line?
Yes,
Three through
Yes, ma'am.
their,
yes,
and
ma'am.
even their hair, even that is in alliteration. Sounds are there. Okay. Now I'm not moving on to assonance
Yes,
and
ma'am.
consonants, because if you say consonants, it's be constant sound, consonant, consonant sound. So stood, still, smile, consonant sound. Three, through, there, again consonant sound. But there, here, they are complex vowel sounds together. Okay, so we take it as assonance, but even then, since they are complex sounds and they include a consonant in it, so it will be alliteration. We are not taking consonants and assonance, we are just taking alliteration. Okay.
Excuse me, ma'am.
Yes, dear.
Ma'am, when the class will end?
uh just 1 minute more. 1 minute more.
Okay,
Okay.
ma'am.
Yeah. Last but not the least, is personification that I wanted to discuss. Is it personification? Consonants. Pitter patter. Personification.
Ma'am, audio is not.
The audio isn't there.
Isn't there? I don't know what happens every time. Okay, done that. Yeah. Play.
Or an idea. An example would be the wind yells while an animal, object, or an idea. An example would be the wind yells while blowing.
Okay, so do you have any personification in the first stanza?
Ma'am, which appears to have changeless.
See.
See
Ma'am,
again.
which
See,
appears to have.
because no inanimate personification says inanimate objects are personified and they perform the action. Can C perform an action? As such, no. Okay, but if you look at this, here it has been personified. So C washed their terribly transient feet. Okay, that's a personification. C washed their terribly transient feet. Okay. Also, in the second phase of analysis, I talked about paraphrasing, where I said you have to talk about the pauses. Okay, so you have two commas. If you see, and the C, there's a comma, which appears to have changed less, that's another comma, and this says washed their terribly transient feet, that's another phrase. So there are three phrases, 1, 2, and 3. Okay, so when you have three phrases joined with a comma, how to read them in the poetry? Have a look. It says the sea, which appears to have changed less, one sentence. The sea washed their terribly transient feet. Or even if you want to answer, you want to make a question and you want to see what answer can be, you can say which appears to have changed less, which means what it will be, you'll say C. Who washed their terribly transient feet, you'll say C. So when you have a who question, that's a personification, that's a person being answered. Okay, identity being created, so that's a C. So that's why again personification. Got it? Okay, and also in the line somebody said that
Yes,
ma'am there's a
ma'am.
alliteration there, terribly transient feet, so you have a terribly transient feet as well here. So you have a T there, terribly transient feet. There's an alliteration here as well. Okay, so the one alliteration is here, another is here. One last thing, I'm so sorry, but I could not leave you before finishing the first stanza, and you've missed the last class as well, so quickly coming to it. Let me see whether we have it here or not. I think there we have onomatopoeia, we have idioms and rhyme. So we are not talking about that. Let's talk about rhyme. Okay, let's talk about rhyme.
Translated word for word in
Audio's
our
there?
language. So the examples
Yes, ma'am.
would be she has a
Yes,
bee in her
ma'am.
bonnet.
Yeah.
She doesn't literally have a bee in her bonnet. It means she's obsessed with something. But if you translated that into another language, it would mean literally she has a bee in her bonnet. Those are the poetry
We
terms that you're
missed.
going to need to know as we move forward. In one language that can't be hyperbole.
No.
So if you're
We did
exaggerating
talk about
something,
rhyme.
you're being hyperbolic. Literally have a bee in. Those are the poetry terms that you're going to need to know as we move forward with our assignments. So learn those terms. I'm gonna produce another video that's gonna have.
Okay, I have another thing with you for you, and this is what I wanted you to know. Where is it? Okay. Audio is there?
Yes,
Audio
ma'am.
is there? Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Did you get it? What are we talking
Yes,
about?
ma'am.
We are talking about transferred epithet. You can note it down.
Yes.
Transferred epithet. Okay. Now, can you tell me where do we have epithet? Or can you tell me what is an epithet? Any idea? No? Okay. An epithet is basically, epithet is an adjective. You can write down. It can be an adjective, or in other words, it is a quality or an attribute. Okay. And when you say transferred epithet, it means you're applying the adjective or the quality to the other noun. Not the noun to which it belongs, but to the other noun. Okay. Understood?
Yes,
Yes or
ma'am.
no? Okay.
Yes,
Now,
ma'am.
can you look at quickly to the first stanza and tell me where is the transferred epithet used? I can give you a hint. Read the last two lines. The sea which appears to have changeless washed their terribly transient feet. Got it or not? Any idea? You guys, are you there or not?
Yes, ma'am.
Ma'am, we are here.
Okay. I thought you've left.
No.
Because I'm just going to end now. Just going to end now. Can you look at the word feet and tell me the adjective used for the word feet?
Ma'am, transient, terribly
Yeah, is it
transient.
exactly terribly transient? Terribly on the other side, we can say it's a comparative, or you can say it's been added like very or too much. But then that's the if you say what's the appropriate adjective, to be terribly. So where do we? Who is actually very very transient? The adjective is transient. Who is transient? What is transient?
Ma'am, the feet.
No, human body.
Ma'am,
We just talked about
Human body.
the human.
human body and human existence, but that has been applied to feet which are not living. Are feet living? No. If you remove the feet from the body, are they living? No. We are talking about the live body. We are talking about the human existence. Okay. And if you look at that, the transient as an adjective the transient as an adjective belongs to human life, human existence, and human body. But it's been applied to one particular part, feet, which itself is inanimate. Yes or no? Correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
So that's
Yes,
why
ma'am.
you have transferred epithet there. Okay? Just one last video and then you
Okay.
can leave, everybody. One last video and you can leave. I think this is the video I want to play. Are you there?
There is no
Ma'am,
video.
only you are audible.
Okay, wait. I'm doing that. There and there. Audible?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. So with this, we end the class here and we're going to have a recap in the next class. So I hope you enjoyed the class, everybody. Although it took me
Yes,
very long
ma'am.
to end it. I'm so sorry I took a lot of time because, I had to pace up with the other class. Thank you so much. You can leave.
Thank you so much,
Thank you,
ma'am.
ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.